Today we are talking about modern vintage, the early 2000s. Not something I'm considering for a vintage set, but this is the discussion of what is the most beautiful iron on the planet. This, when it came out, was on my top 10. I was like, oh my goodness, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It looked so forgiving. I'll be able to hit the ball 5 miles and just embarrass everybody on the golf course. This looked like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Now, what do I think about it? We need to explore that, and we should do that up close and personal. So what are your opinions about this club? Is this one of the most beautiful clubs ever made? Kind of a side series we got going on here. What are the most beautiful clubs ever made? And does this qualify even in the top 10? Well, let's look at this to determine up close here. Ben Hogan signed, a little Ben Hogan medallion stamped in there. It's not a coin medallion or anything, painted. It says it's forged here on the hosel. Apex edge 9. Looks like there's plenty of bounce here. Maybe that's just some forgiveness on the leading edge. Smooth grooves. Forged chrome plated. Black hosel with ferrule with 2 red stripes right there. The Hogan branded Apex edge frequency matched stepped steel shaft. And this one happens to be sporting a Golf Pride neon. It's spelled funny. It's like N-I-I-O-N. I'm not sure if you're able to see that right here. Either way, it's there. Neon grip. Not a huge fan of those grips, but that's what somebody has put on this, so we're just going to leave it like that. So those are the looks. Big thick top line right here with, it looks like from this angle a little bit of offset, but I'm looking through the camera lens and it's not capturing that, but it looks like there's a little bit of offset there. Let's take this out onto the mat and see how she does. I'm looking at the top line here. It's a big, thick top line here on this club. Not too much offset, so looks pretty reasonable to me. Let's grab a ball here. This one's all marked up. Do you guys mark up your golf balls like this? This isn't my ball, so there's like a line around it for a straight line, and then there's like circles and all sorts of like initials. Pretty intense. I guess there are a lot of people that play with the same golf ball nowadays. That was a little slicey. Try that again here. Better strike on that one. Yeah, the club feels amazing. It's exactly what I expect from a forgiveness iron. I like how it looks, even with that really thick top line, so. Apex edge. Welcome back. That range session was from yesterday. Ben Hogan, Apex edge. Is it on your short list? Top 3 most beautiful irons ever made. Top 10 most beautiful irons ever made. For me, this is a case of never meet your heroes. Disappointment. This is underwhelming to hit. It's just underwhelming to look at. I am disappointed in the top line, the contrast between this kind of what seems like a cheaply painted medallion on some matte paint, which seems like they just put there as filler, and then the shiny chrome signature of Ben Hogan. To me, that doesn't work. The cavity, a little too much for me. So the red hosel, it seems like it just didn't quite get it right for me. And it's just my opinion, just my tastes. Everybody has different tastes. That's why I'm asking you. Would you classify this as a top 10, top 3 as iron as far as looks? For me, so remember this came out in early 2000s. This came out in the late 80s. So 14-year difference between these two clubs. To me, the Apex red line looks way more beautiful than the Apex Edge, both by Ben Hogan. Oh, have you seen Ben Hogan's new line of irons? Absolutely lovely. And I think they look better than this. So the Apex red line, to me, is in my top 10. For sure, right now at the making of this video. In my top 3, ooh, it's really close to being in my top 3. This, not even close. Classic case. Don't meet your heroes. Unexpected, you know. Sometimes you find true love in unexpected places. Ben Hogan Apex Redline. It's not about you anymore, all right? It's about my old fling right here, all right? So we're going to put you back. Let me know what you think in the comments. What are your top 3 most beautiful irons you've ever seen? Have you had an iron that you looked at where you're like, oh my goodness, it's beautiful, and then you test hit it and you're like, maybe it's not as amazing as I thought it would be. Interested to read your comments. Doesn't matter, like I said, it's you respawn now or if you respawn 10 years down the road. I'm interested in people's opinions. Apex Edge, Ben Hogan Iron. I am the Vintage Golfer.